Hey guys, it's me here, and today's video I'm just going to be showing you guys my Losi 8 ready to run and what I've done to it and upgrading it and all that. So what you see here is not a stock Losi 8 ready to run, at least in 2018. So out of the box it's very non-adjustable, and it's not very good at all. It's basically a starting point for anyone who wants to get into racing, really. That's really all it is. And you can hop this up to the TLR kit, the 4.0 specifically. You can use some 3.0 parts, and they actually recommend those on Horizon for like things like the rear shock tower, and the front shock tower is 4.0, which I haven't upgraded yet because I mean I can deal with the bends and stuff in them for right now. So right off the bat you can tell that a few things straight off are not stock. So let's actually talk about some stock parts that come with it that I have swapped out. So I think the biggest difference, or the biggest change, the most notable change, or the most noticeable change, is the body. And I still have the original. So this one's nice, and the one on there is kind of cracked from racing and stuff. And yes, I have been racing this vehicle quite a lot actually. And yeah, here's the original body. I don't like. I mean, I like the pattern on it. I just do not like the colors. They look better on the camera actually than in real life. The blue is actually much darker, and the green is actually much darker. It's overall just a darker body of this. So yeah, so getting that out of the way. That's the first biggest change. It's probably like the biggest change of all for just the looks. Also, talking about looks, I also swapped out the rear wing. It used to have this white 8 wing. I changed it out for a 3.0 wing. It actually has screws and nuts on the rear part of it, kind of like where this would be, kind of, but there's bolts going in there, so I guess it catches more air. It's a 3.0 wing, so that means it's actually bigger, but apparently it's not really roar legal or something, I don't know. But yeah, this white wing, I really didn't want to make it look stock. I kind of wanted to make it look like its own. I kind of wanted to make it look like its own thing. And also, one of the other big changes that I've done is, as you can clearly see on the front and rear, I've changed out the shocks. These are the old shocks. Now some people, some more experienced people will say, well, you really don't need to change your shocks. All you really need to do is change your cap, which I would like to believe, and that's what I was going to do. That's the plan. That was the plan for these. But these have 90 weight in them, okay? These have 90 weight in them, and they really did not do good at all. And unfortunately, I actually found out, and also I did buy these pre-assembled from eBay, just from someone who's selling some 3.0 shocks for 30 bucks. So it's like, you know what, I'm gonna take advantage of that. I also got the rear ones as well, and I actually tested to see if the aluminum caps could even fit on there. Not like I was gonna use these plastic ones anyway, because the springs are bad, and I don't think that the springs, I kind of want the springs to look like they're actually on the vehicle. So on the front, noticeably, again, the shocks, these are the 3.0 aluminum shocks. You really don't need to get these unless you can make the aluminum caps fit on the plastic bodies. Then that shouldn't be a problem. And also, these can go all the way up, unlike the other ones. The other ones can only go up to a point, but these can actually go all the way up with the special collar. And as you can also see, I have camber rods in here. These camber rods are not stock. You have to buy these separately. And also, if you want to go with the specific race 4.0 camber links, you actually have to get a different mounting ball joint, because the ball joints for the stock ones for the fixed tie rods are too small. But the ones for the toe adjustments work down here. And I mean, I've done it to both sides, and I've even done it to the rear, which I will show right now. And just for a recap on the rear, the wing is now black, and it's bigger, it's more sturdy, it's actually held in by screws now, and it's actually wider now, I guess, I don't know. But as you can also see, there are some 3.0 shocks back here, along with some more camber links back here. These are very beefy and they do work, and they do sometimes actually need to change camber, as you can clearly see. So now let's get on to the chassis. And if you guys didn't notice, I actually changed out my tires over here to some Proline side locks, and the front ones have already worn a little bit, but I'll talk about that in a second. So, and yes, and if you are planning on racing, you know, shock oil and tires are definitely going to be a you thing. They're not going to be kind of a, you know, simple systematic thing. Like, it's not going to be like the same for every track. Like, if you have a very bumpy track, you're probably going to need to use less shock oil, you know. So let's actually stop messing around and let's get under the chassis. Let's see what it looks like under there. And that is something else I did as well. I put Velcro on the body and on the chassis itself. So as we can see, it doesn't really look like anything of the stock ready to run chassis. As you can clearly see, I've got a 4S battery in here. That doesn't really matter though, because you can put whatever kind of battery you want as long as it has the same connector as the ESC. So I'm actually going to quickly take out this battery. So there we go. And if you guys want to know what battery I'm using a Z 5200 milliamp hour battery with a 50C discharge rate. These do work very, very well, and they do hold a lot of charge. So, moving all this out of the way, let me actually take time to organize this. I'm in a garage and I am sweating my ass off because there's no fan on, because I need to make the video sound as good as possible. So, let's take it kind of like this, alright? So as you can see here, there are tremendous differences if you're used to looking at the ready to run chassis. As you can clearly see, first of all, this is a Mamba Monster X ESC. Let's actually get a zoom in on that. And as you can see, it's kind of mounted weird. And the only reason why I have it like this is because, and as you may notice right here, there's actually a cut right there. You have to do that. If you want to mount a Mamba Monster X and with the motor, which I'll get into in a second, you have to make a cut, or you have to move, or or you have to move the ESC to the rear, which you can't really do unless you make modifications, unless you have the 4.0 chassis, which I don't expect a lot of people to have, especially if they're going on a budget. But this is just something I got in like northeast of San Antonio at some hobby shop. I can't remember. It was recent though, and they did pre-solder a Dean's connector on here, which Dean's connectors are very, very good. And it is programmable. It is programmable ESC, drag, brake, cutoff, and everything. So moving on to the motor, there's not really much to see of this motor, unfortunately. But if I can get this if I could get this motor fan off, I would show you the whole motor, because it really looks nice with the green heat sink fins. And I live in Texas and it's going to be humid as fuck out here, so I really need that fan. And even then, this fan and also this pinion over here, that is a 14 tooth pinion and not stock. The stock is a 16 tooth pinion with a 43 tooth spur, and I am running a 14 tooth pinion on it, so with 43 tooth spur. And you may also notice on here that it is very, very straining on these wires, which I kind of have to point at the at Castle for that, because they really do not give you a very long wire to work with, unfortunately. And it is a sensored motor, but I am not running a sensor cable in it, because there is literally no way that I would be able to get the ESC sensor wire, even with that little extension wire that it comes with. There's no way it would be able to fit back there, and I really don't need that, because I just don't use the sensor. I don't see a point for it because I don't use it. I wouldn't have a use for it unless I'm just looking at telemetry, which I would rarely even ever look at. And as you can see over here for the servo, it is not stock either. This is something that I actually bought from somebody at the track whenever my stock servo went out. And the stock servos that these things come with are metal geared. I'm sorry about that noise, but I'm gonna have to deal with that because I'm in the garage and there's a lot of noises in here. But the stock servo, it's supposed to be metal geared. I don't know what kind of Metal Gear it is, because it actually stripped the stock servo, and I had to buy this from someone literally on the track, and it is a pretty fast and pretty strong servo, and I really could not ask for more in a servo, because it is very fast. It is in Servox SC 1258 TG. And by the way, just to let you know, guys, that the receiver is still stock. It doesn't need to be changed because it's fine. It's just fine the way it is. And I'm actually going to show you guys how fast this thing can move in an 8-scale buggy. It doesn't move nearly. It's moving fast. It would move fast right now because the tires are actually off the ground. So let me actually turn on my radio. And yes, this is the stock DX2E that comes with. They actually made it worse because there's no rubber grip anymore. Well, they used to actually come with rubber grips for some reason, but they just stopped doing that. Let's plug the battery in. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys with the horn, with the actual servo horn right here, and then I'm going to show you the tires off the ground. So it doesn't look too fast just looking at the horn right here, but it definitely looks better with, it definitely looks quicker with the when you actually see the tires, as you can kind of see here. Let me actually kind of hold the camera back for you guys. So this is basically as fast as it goes, and some pro racers might scoff and laugh at this because it is slow. This is literally as fast as it can move. It's still pretty fast though. It is middle of the road, as you may call it, maybe. I don't know. It's not the greatest servo for pros, but it's good enough for me, which I'm a local club racer at Mike's Hobby Shop, but that's fine. So that's all I really have for now, guys, for my Losi ready to run upgrades. Tell me what you thought about my this buggy right here. Is it good? Do you think it would be good for races? It's won a race actually. It's been pretty good on the field. It's been, you know, it's come in second place a lot actually recently, and I need to find out how I can improve that. And also, something I did forget to mention is that I did change the viscosity of the center diff oil to some 10,000 weight, as you can see right here, some 10K from factory team. And the only reason why I did that is because, and also the reason why these tires are bald in the middle is because it kept diffing out in the front, which really just wastes a lot of power. And you can have some more power going to the rear. And these do have a lot of traction, and these are very soft tires, so these will rip easily. And it's on both tires, by the way. So that's my mistake, and I did change out the oil though, so it should be good from now on. So thanks for watching, guys. I will be doing another, I'll actually be doing another video on this car. I will be doing a review of what I think about it and how it performs. I wish I did this video when I first got it, because that was more stock, but I'll just talk about it while I show some racing footage of it actually in my next video. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.